Hey everybody, trying to get this straight. Is that straight? I think it's relatively straight. Hey, it's your girl Pharmacy here at Green Heifer Farms. I am down here on December 25th, Christmas Day. Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. Happy holidays. Peace, love, laughter, and abundance to everyone. I have had a great first part to my day. Got a chance to spend time with my youngest daughter and her family, my 3 grandsons. So that was a joy. And then after I check out, get everything done here, just a couple of hours today, I'm going to head over to my oldest daughter. We're all going to meet over there, and she along with my youngest daughter have cooked dinner. So part of the perks of having adult children with their own homes, you get to go to their house. I am about to give the plants some water. It is hot today. We got down into the 20s this week. Today it is in the 70s, which means in the greenhouse, it is hot. We took the shade cloth off, anticipating winter. Winter. So it's even hotter than it normally would be. But anywho, I am going to water my tea babies, and then we're going to chat a little bit. Okay? All right, y'all. Took a little longer than expected because I had to figure out why the spigot wasn't coming on, which I did because it's on now. Can y'all see me? I get caught up sometimes when I start working on my plants and everything, so my bad if I'm out of shot. Let me show you. One of my babies up close. This is Camellia sinensis tea plant, true tea. So black tea, white tea, oolong tea, green tea, all of those come from this beautiful plant. And they take 5 to 7 years before you can harvest. They are perennials. And so it's a long-term commitment. But we have about 90, I think now. We started out with 100. 10 of them took an L. But we're really happy and excited to be able to get these established on our farm in the spring. So that is one of the plants that we are adding. And if you didn't watch my last video, let me get down here. If you didn't watch my last video, definitely go check it out. I share some of the plants that we're considering, a few of them. I went up to Gaia Herbs in the mountains of North Carolina and spent an entire day with them. Actually, I spent a few days with them, and then they came down here. And we have some exciting plants that we're going to be adding. So I'm really looking forward to that. And these right here, these 3, they actually were some transplants that we had gotten established. We had gotten them established on the farm, but they had to be moved for the septic tank. So let me walk you around and let's talk a bit, and I'll broach today's subject, which is basically one of the key things about establishing a farm business is you got to stay the course. You got to stay the course. But let's walk and talk. It's hot in here. The greenhouse and the high tunnel are always hotter. And I didn't realize how warm they get in there during the winter. I'm glad that we know now, because we'll be extending some grows even further. than we did this year. This year, I really wasn't in a position to continue growing throughout the entire winter, other than making sure that the tea babies were on point, just because it takes capacity to do that. And I'm really trying to pace, right? So a couple of improvements. We actually, let me flip this. So here is my well. I have a heat lamp right here to make sure that it doesn't freeze when it does get really cold, and it is controlled by this little plug here, which has a thermostat on it, and I think when it gets to something like 42 degrees, it'll switch on so that it doesn't freeze. But when I had this, not when I had the well put in, but when I had the water lines run underground, I had them put in some extras in preparation for future growth. I didn't know quite what that growth was going to look like, but I knew we were going to grow, and so I did have them put some in, as you can see right there. House future. Greenhouse, the garden. That's the greenhouse. He labeled both of them greenhouse, but he was referring one was the high tunnel, and then hydrant close to the house. Because when I had the lines ran, everything that's out here now was not out here, including this high tunnel. This was not out here. I told him that the goal was to get a high tunnel or another greenhouse put out here, so we planned for it. And we just recently actually had this hydrant installed. So initially, when I had the hydrants installed, I had this one here at the greenhouse because the greenhouse was established. I had that one out there in the garden, and then I had, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it from here, y'all. Can y'all see that right there in front of the tub? I had that one put in, and then the cabin wasn't even here, but I had him go ahead and, was the cabin here? No, the cabin was here. It was not at the point where it was plumbed. So I had him go ahead and run the pipes to the cabin as well. So it was here, but it wasn't plumbed or anything yet. And then, in addition to having this hydrant, I also, let's go in here in the greenhouse. It's gonna be hot in here too, y'all. Look at this beautiful soil, prepped and ready for next year. Let's see, what's the temperature? I just want to see how hot it is in here. It's actually, it feels more comfortable in here than it did over in the greenhouse, but maybe not. It's 100, a whole bill. But like I told you all, it's actually warm outside today, so that is why. But the coldest we've ever clocked it in here has been mid-50s. So it stays pretty warm. But I also had this hydrant put in the high tunnel in preparation for next year. So really excited about those improvements. Let me show you a few others that we had done. But let's talk about the topic, staying the course. So even with putting in the pipes and the infrastructure with the water, I had to envision what was to come, even though I didn't see it. It wasn't here yet. But I knew that if I stayed the course, eventually, head all twisted, eventually it would come to pass. And that is something that you're going to have to be able to do as a farmer, especially beginning, is you're gonna have to be able to stay the course even when things don't look like what you are envisioning. You have to believe that it's going to come to pass and plan for the future. I didn't want to invest all that money in having them come and trench the lines, and I got the electrical put in at the same time, the wires put underground. I didn't want to have to do it for just what was present at that given time. I did it based on what is it that we're trying to create, and I did not get distracted or discouraged because I didn't see those things. So now all septic is connected into the very new, very sexy septic tank. So that's been done. We now have gas and the sexy hot water heater, which I need to contact the gas company and have them drop this bar a little bit so that I can put the, oh, not me, I ain't gonna do it, but I can have someone put the skirt on it. And woo, it's windy, so I don't need to add any additional utility support to the cabin. So I'm really excited about that. And, you know, it's a process. Stayed the course. Started on this cabin in May of 2020. And here we are, December of 2021. And, you know, took time, took commitment, and took me taking a lot of L's. Everything, it's taken me taking a lot of L's. Those are lessons. Those are learning lessons. I don't regret any of them. Every plant that I've killed, every email that I've sent that maybe hasn't had the desired response, every grant proposal that I've submitted